Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, to Prayer for Peace. I'm Alba Morales, live from Annapolis, Maryland, and we are so happy to have you in this new year of 2025. And today is the first Friday of this year, and we are in this appointment, in this meeting, and this moment that we are given to ourselves. So we invite to all of you, close your eyes and breathe and feel the presence of the benevolent spirits that guide and protect the project of Kardec Radio. Let us open our senses beyond our physical body to feel the kind and gentle presence of our personal guardian angel or spirit guide or spiritual mentor. And we feel with their serene presence that we are being enveloped in the love of God. And we can put all our mind, all our attention in this present moment and in the space in which we are. And we ask for our dear Father, Mother God, to bless us during these moments, to help us to renew our energies, to help us to set high and above goals from our spirit, and to protect us during this moment, and so be it. Dear friends, we welcome you again. We are doing an initial reading from the book Happy Life, and we are currently in chapter 87. The spirit author is Joanna de Angelis through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco. And in chapter 87, she is talking about advice. When we need or seek advice, or probably when we are giving advice to someone else. So here is what she says. Advice is only valuable as your willingness to follow it. And it seems pretty obvious. At least when we were reading, we were like, well, so why you're seeking for advice? But this is so interesting because sometimes our human nature moves us to ask or seek for that advice, and we don't like what we hear, so we ignore it. And we decide to keep doing what we're doing or not to do anything at all. So it's so interesting how she says that advice, that word that someone is providing to us only has value if we have the willingness, if we have the will to follow it and to follow through. Other than that, it would be a waste of time. We are wasting our time, and we are wasting the time of the other person that is trying to help us. She continues saying, whenever you struggle with any given subject, seek guidance from a more experienced, better equipped person. And this is also so interesting when we're thinking, well, this is also obvious, but it is not. Because again, we go to the closest persons to us, and sometimes we share the same vision, we share the same goals, we share a lot of things. We are, let's say, in certain areas or topics in life, we are in the same level. So we are not getting any further. We are keep asking to the same people, the same person. We need to be smart in regard our spiritual and moral development also. and identify those who are ahead of us, because this is natural. On planet Earth, we are different levels of spiritual growing of development, like in a school, right? There is the pre-K students, but also we can see the 12th grade students, the seniors, and after that it is college, and even further, university and master degrees and doctorate, etc. So we need to identify not only the subject or the matter that in which we need that counseling or that advice, but also let us identify who is up to that task. And sometimes there is people that we may feel shy, or I better don't ask my auntie Mary because she's very rigid, but she's good in this area. So those are the tools and the resources that God is giving us to help us to go through our journey. And the same will happen to us. We can help others, and we are being helped by others. As we explained before, planet Earth is a school with different grade levels. However, leave your own opinion at the door and do not try to prove it right. Meaning we need to be flexible. We need to be open to new ideas, to new perspectives and points of view. We need to recognize that we commit errors, that we fail, and that our point of view must be wrong in certain aspects, in certain specific topics. Joanna de Angelis is inviting us to exercise humility. When we seek for advice, when we seek for those words of inspiration, of comfort, of counseling, we also need to go and to come to the situation with a humble attitude, the attitude of a learner or a student, because we don't know, and that's why we are seeking someone else's advice. Like when we have some money and we want to invest and we don't know how to invest that, so we hire or we ask a financial advisor. And we need to be humble about it and say, well, I don't really know how to handle this, but I know you are the expert and I can trust you. Just to give an example in real life, it's the same when we are trying to transform ourselves in a better version of our very own selves. Listen carefully and ponder, then make what seems to be the best decision. So it's no one else's decision. It is my decision. Even God respects that, our free will. That's why we have intelligence and free will. And we decide, we ponder, we meditate, we take in consideration different opinions, different advices, different ideas, and then we make the decision that we need to make. Moreover, don't let good advice fall on deaf ears. And this is again a call for being humble. Examine everything, hold fast to that which is good, states the apostle, in the name of the good. This is the invitation for today, dear friends. There are advices that we can receive from our spiritual mentors, but we need to be attentive and open to receive it. When we are in our sleep, our physical body is resting, but our spirit is not, because the spirit doesn't need to sleep. So in Spiritism, we practice something that is called intelligent sleep. It's basically before going to bed, we ask, we pray to our guardian angel, to Jesus, to God, to guide us and provide us an intelligent sleep, meaning that we are going to some spiritual place in which we are going to learn, or we are going to work, or to serve, or to do something good for our very own benefit or the benefit of others. So those are moments in which we can hear, we can listen the advice of the good mentors. And probably the next morning we don't remember very well, but we feel like an intuition. We have a sense that, okay, I better go through this way rather than to this other. Because our brain didn't register that conversation with our spirit mentors or guides, but our mind, that is in our spirit, registered. And therefore, the way that we perceive it in the physical body is like an intuition, like something is telling me to do this instead of to do that. But again, we need to be open to that, friends. We need to recognize that our true self is our authentic nature, is a spirit, and that we are wearing this physical garment is temporary. We are going to move now to our prayer to ask God to help us to listen those advices from the good mentors, to ask for the strength to become a humble person, because it takes a lot of work, okay? We're going to close our eyes so we can focus better. And we all together say in one mind, in one voice, Dear Father, Mother God, we are so very grateful for this moment of communication with you, as we receive these healing and soft and kind energies that caress not only our spirit but our physical body. So we are very grateful, and we want for this moment of prayer to extend its benefits to those who are around us, our family members, our friends, our co-workers and colleagues, our neighbors, the people that we share a grocery store, a drugstore, or at the street. Although it seems like we are strangers, we are sharing the same part of a town, of a city. So we pray that this moment also benefit all of them that are in need of a prayer. And we ask you, beloved Father, Mother God, to give us the flexibility in mind to listen to the good advices of our spirit mentors. Give us that strength of becoming a humble person, of recognizing that social or financial status is not equal to moral or intellectual elevation, so we can seek advice to anybody who has the knowledge that pertains to the area of the moral state of the mind, that pertains to the area of our intellectual development. Help us, Father, to recognize those wise masters that are wearing very humble garments, so they move through the world in silence, not making too much noise, because they know it is not needed. Help us to identify these wise masters, that it can be a kind neighbor, that can be a sweet colleague, someone that knows better than us something that we haven't developed yet. And we pray. We pray today, as we do every day, a prayer for peace. We pray for peace. Pray for peace of our mind, serenity in our soul. We pray for peace in our families and everyone's families. We pray for peace in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in any place in which two or more are reunited in your name. We pray for peace around the world and among the nations. And we pray that you help us to be co-creators of peace. Help us to build that world of regeneration that we are dreaming of and that we know is coming. And we are very close to it, although things seem very chaotic. We know that peace will reign on the surface of planet Earth and will benefit all of us, incarnate and discarnate of the spirits. We pray, Father, Mother God, give us your peace in our hearts, in our minds, and so be it. Dear friends, we wish you a wonderful first weekend of the 2025 year. See you next week.